Hey, it's Nay, and welcome back to Nay's Little Garden and Home. So, today I have a little video for you where I want to talk about, primarily this could work for, I think, any warm weather crop, but the experiment was done on peppers specifically. So we're gonna hop, skip, and jump right into this because I do think it's important and it does actually quite dramatically affect things. So grab your drink and a snack. Now, I did not do the exact same peppers. So there is something to say about the control, right? I didn't do anything where the control would be, this is all the same pepper. Maybe they have different popping up periods, so on and so forth. I just find this, the reason why I feel like I could use this as a means is because it's a mix between spicy and sweet peppers. Now, we do know typically the spicier the pepper, the longer it could take to germinate. And I did not do any crazy spicy peppers. My very interesting peppers that are Scoville heat units that are up there are not in this control. I did peppers in which I didn't even try to grow in my tent. Grew it just downstairs, which is quite cool, okay? Downstairs on my starting shelving unit, right? There is light because you're gonna see that there's something else growing in this as well. So there is light on there, so it's getting a pinch of warmth. It is quite close to the light as well. Then I have the other two were in my grow tent. One was just on the heat mat, and the other one was on a heat mat, and it had a thing, like a cover over it, like a clear cover over it. So let's start, and they all were started on the same day. We're gonna start with the one that was just outside, like just in my downstairs with the light, nothing to help it grow. It's this side. This is my broccoli. They seem to be doing fairly well. I just be coming over and be like, and blowing and shaking stuff or whatever. So hopefully it's gonna grow very strong. Anyway, there's nothing here. Even when you get very close, it's still nothing here. I'm gonna tell you right now, it will eventually pop up. Something is going to grow. I think that if you're starting early, like now, and of course it depends on your zone. I'm talking about zone 5, 6, and maybe 7, okay? And you're starting your peppers now, but definitely 5 and 6. Zone 5 and 6, for sure. And you're starting your peppers now, we're a little early, for sure. You don't need anything to start your peppers. They're gonna take a little longer. Just keep your eye on it, keep the soil moist. You'll be fine. This is now going on past a week, and we still have nothing popping up. It is the 12th, okay? So we're 10 days into starting this seed, and that's the early jalapeno. The next one is this. This one was just on the heat mat. Keep in mind, it started the same day. Now, you guys probably can't see, but every cell but one has something at least arching its back out. I want you to see so you can believe. You see that? That is it arching its back out there. And then here is one arching its back out starting, and they're arching its back out as well. 1, 2, 3, and then nothing is in this one. And then you could see these two clearly. This one actually has 2 in here. So for quite a few of these, I have 1 to 3 seeds in there. That is actually pretty good. You can get a heat mat, and I know it's like, okay, I have a next video. I'll be recording today. I'm batch recording today, so you're gonna see me in the same outfit for the next couple of videos, but you don't need a lot of things at all, really, to purchase things specifically for growing, like seed starting, save for the soil you're gonna use, or like the, you know, the soil type thing that you're gonna use, as well as the seeds. Those are kind of the only things you really have to specifically buy to start seeds indoors, with the purpose of solely using it to start indoors, because there's other things you can use that could be used for other things, or you're using it for the second life. But wait for that video. You can get a mat for like $25 to $30. That isn't super cheap when you're thinking about like, oh my gosh, but it's not super expensive either. And that's something you'll probably have for some time. And a lot of them, you know, you get a little water on it, nothing's gonna go wrong with it. And this cheaper one, which is what I'm talking about, you can just plug those in and it'll bring the soil temp. You don't get to control the temp, but that's okay, because the seed still pops up, and it popped up faster. I got these at about the 8-day mark, 9-day mark. So literally yesterday or the day before yesterday, these popped up. This one might have actually been the one that popped up 2 days ago, and then this popped up, these two popped up yesterday, like last night. So this is good. The next one got both a heat mat and a you know, a clear cover over top of it. And remember, they all started on 2-2. This is what we have in germination. So every single cell has two seed starts that have popped up, but you still have one arching its back out. Two arching its back out, and then 1, 2, 3 still opening up. But this is quite impressive in terms of how much more has germinated at a faster rate. And I would say I got germination at around day 5 or so. So if you're working with less time because you're starting later, or you just want to make sure things pop up and you have the space to up pot plants and separate plants and stuff like that, like I have, then you can do this. And it'll make it so that you don't end up late, because you do typically have to give peppers anywhere from, I think they say like 5 to 14 days, or no, 3 weeks, 5 to 3 weeks time to pop up. Do you really want to spend 3 weeks, right, sitting there? So we're almost at, I believe, 11 weeks, or we're at 11 weeks before the last frost. This is the time where you really should be starting peppers, right? For zones 6 and 7, right? Well, 5 through 7 maybe, because I actually saw someone in zone 5 saying you start your peppers earlier. Yes, they're going to be more work to take care of inside, but you're actually going to guaranteed more of a harvest. So I'm going to include 5 in this. About 5 to 7, you start these earlier. You want to make sure you're actually getting to start them earlier. You're not going to have to wait those 2 to 3 weeks, and then you're getting much closer to regular start time, and then things don't pop up and you have to restart them anyway. Whereas this, you're giving yourself about a week off with the heat mat and the dome on the top. You're going to see something pop up, and then you can be like, okay, no, this germination rate is really good. Like, this is basically 100% germination rate. Now, are all of these gonna go out into my garden? No, as of right now, because some of these this one looks very weak. This one looks like something went wrong with this. This one looks like it's part of the leaves are snapped off. So this whole cell these two might not make it. But like the rest of them actually look pretty good, if I do say so. So then when you have a little bit of extra, you can get a little more specific. You can get more choosy about what you want to grow up, especially if you have specific space for seed starting and specific space for putting outside, or up out everything. And then you have extras. Give away plants. Be like, just plant this. It'll probably grow you some peppers. And most people will be very excited. Not most, but I do think a healthy chunk of people will be very excited about that. I just found that very interesting, These are the same size cells. Like, there's nothing crazy dramatic about it. This one is a cheaper, actually. Cheaper Amazon purchase I had bought versus the other ones are Johnny's. So that has, I don't really think that has anything to do with it, but it's the same amount of soil in all of them. And it's the same type of soil, I believe, as well. So it's a mixture between like the seed starting stuff. I'll show you. It's a mix between this and I think I tossed the bag away, but it was potting soil, indoor potting soil, indoor potting mix that I probably won't buy again because it has some chunks in there. So, but it's a mix of those. And so I just wanted to show you that. I don't really have anything else to say about anything else in this video to say, but I thought that was very interesting. I'm gonna leave this early jalapeno like this because I started some more, I believe, and that is on a heat mat. But if you also just want to start seeds early, but you don't want them to get too big, I would advise against getting a dome to put on it and a heat mat, because now you're looking at it just starting earlier, so like popping up faster and then growing faster. So these are all things you want to take into consideration, and definitely check like marketplaces because you can, and ask people. I think you'll be very surprised how excited other gardeners are to share the gardening experience. Of course, be nice, be kind, and engaging, but you'll be surprised. I've had people be like, oh, and what do you peppers, you know, what tomato do you think is interesting? And then, you know, here's 4 tomato seeds and here's another 4. This is the Castelluta Genovese, and this is and this is what you're gonna look like and what you're gonna grow. And, you know, you might end up with stuff you didn't know. Oh, I have extra, you know, they're cheaper, but I have like 4 seed starting cells, 6 cells that I can give you, you know. Matter of fact, I think I have an extra bag of seed starting soil, a seed starting mix. You want me to just put the soil in there for you so I can just fill up a little bit so you know, you have the soil to just start. You know what I mean? You might mess around and end up talking to somebody who is just like that, because gardening is something I feel like people just like to share. Like they just, it's so fun. It's so fun. And I feel like everyone should be gardening no matter how little space you have, as long as you have something, a little porch, a little deck, a little balcony, and the sun hits it, you can grow something. I mean, at this point, if you don't have those things, or you're literally just inside and you have a little bit of money, you quite literally can get you a little growing situation, truthfully. And I'm talking like Insta growing station for like $150. And that's like Insta. Like they have like the little tiny sets, and it comes with the like it's the sectioned off thing, and it has a little light, and it has this and that, and it's all these like for like $150, $160. Like it's intense. I was looking at this garden thing, but garden instead of an E, it's like with a Y. Now that is a whole system that is big. Like I was talking about a little tabletop system, but this is like a whole system, and it was like $450. Now you're looking at me like, girl, that's crazy priced, but walk with me for a minute, because it does not use soil, so it's cleaner, and then you don't have to worry. It uses like don't actually quote me, but then it has its own light, and then you could use your phone, and it can tell you what it needs, and this, that, and the third, and you could grow a bunch of stuff, and there's a bunch of little pockets. It's like a green stalk, but for inside, and it's not green stalking with soil, it's green stalking with some other form of medium. It's insane. I'm looking at it because I was like, girl, this looks cute. And now that they have a new one of it, like a Garden 2, I was like, the Garden 1 is cheaper. I might have to, I don't know, just to test it out. You know what I mean? And it's like, it has its own lighting system. So yeah, you could put it near, you know, a window, but also know it's going to grow. And there was some good stuff growing in there. And you can grow a lot of things these days. This is the time, if you didn't already start, this is actually the time to start gardening. It actually probably would be, it's easier for a lot of people to garden now than it was 10 years ago. Walk with me for a second, because I know I digressed. But it's easier because gardeners took off running with whatever struggles they had and tried to find a way to solve it, and not only tried but are actively succeeding. So when it comes to growing in smaller spaces, people had to do a lot of different things trying to grow in these smaller spaces that they were successful at, but it took a lot more work. Nowadays, girl, you don't need to worry about these big indeterminate tomatoes that grow 10-12 feet and da-da-da. No, because they have sit there and did something called the Dwarf Tomato Project, where a bunch of different gardeners will sit there and gather seeds and grow and then cultivate things by like, okay, this one came out smaller, I'm gonna take this one, and I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take this one. Guys, they were doing generations of tomatoes to figure out how we can get these tomatoes to grow no more than 3 feet, no more than 2 feet, no more than 5 feet, no more than 4 feet. And okay, it'll put all the stuff on at one time, or indeterminate, it'll put on different flushes. It's insane. And I'm thoroughly impressed by the people in the gardening world. It's truly amazing. And I'm actually thinking about doing a bunch of different stuff my own self. And it does take time, but why not? We just live in life. Might as well be doing things while you live in life, you know? Thank you so much for watching this whole video. Let me know if you found that interesting. I'm going to pick them up. Remember, ignore the broccoli. The one where you see the broccoli sticking up, that other 6, the 3 next to it is where the peppers should be. But this is what we're looking at. This one is nothing, just sitting out in the light on the cooler temperatures. The middle one grew with a heat mat, and then the far left over here, this one grew with a heat mat and a humidity dome over it. So thank you so much for watching this whole video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Let's talk down in the comment section about anything I've been talking about, and hopefully I see you in my next video. Bye bye.